Today on Kite Maker Corner, we're meeting one of the greats from across the pond. Welcome back to Skyrider Limited, everybody. I am, as always, Jesse, and we are here not too far where I shot the intros to the original Kite Maker Corner series for another episode of Series 2. Here, in this one, we get to catch up with Carl Robertshaw. Carl is a multi-time world champion with sport kites. He's a kite designer of just immense portfolio. In sport kites, probably best known for the Fury team kite, the Fury 9.5, Fury 8.5. He flew with the British team Aircraft. He and his brother formed the pair Evolver. I met Carl in the 90s when he and his brother came over for the East Coast Stunt Kite Championships and just blew us all away. And I'm really lucky to get to call Carl a friend after all these years of knowing each other and everything. And we've gotten to catch up quite a bit in the last 12 months. And so naturally, I had to put the questions to him. And just a reminder, our Kite Maker Corner questions are your favorite design you've ever owned, flown, and your favorite design. So let's dive right in and see Carl's answers to our questions. So another Kite Maker Corner, and I'm here with Carl Robertshaw. Carl did building kites, designing kites, competing for, just performing for
I've retired
30
twice,
something years.
competed, for 20 years and won 5 world championships and other competitions and so on.
And tons of stuff outside of kites with fabric and carbon too.
Exactly. So using the idea of kites and fabric as a structure for live events mostly.
So very cool. So Kite Maker Corner questions.
Okay.
Favorite kite you've ever owned,
Owned.
flown, and your favorite design.
Wow. Okay. Big questions. Tough.
They are big questions, and they kind of come from left field a little.
Okay. Sure.
So
So what's the first one?
favorite kite you've ever owned.
Ever owned? Oh, I think that was a North Shore Kona,
Okay.
and that had clear water spars in.
Oh,
Back in the day, so they were the really high-end,
yep.
delicious, expensive. I didn't have spares,
The aero stuff of the time.
and I was traveling the world with that as a student, and took it on as hand luggage, put it down the side of the seat on the flight for safekeeping, so I didn't want to
Yep.
get broken.
Of course.
And of course, I left it there. So yeah, I miss it dearly because it flew beautifully, of course, and
Yeah.
sod's law is that that's the one that you
Right. Yeah, the one that got away.
leave behind.
Right.
Yeah.
So favorite kite you ever flown.
Flown. So this is single line kites, quad
Single line, quad
two-line
line,
kites,
yeah,
all
anything.
sorts,
Yeah.
everything. I think
Doesn't even have to be something you own. Just something maybe you picked up on a field and flew for a few minutes.
so. For individual, I flew a sizzle, top
Okay.
line sizzle.
Oh yeah.
Not many people know it or remember it, but
Yeah, it's
kind
definitely
of-
one of the later top of the lines too.
exactly. And that was an exceptional team kite, but it was sort of too late into the world of kiting for actually it to catch on because
Right.
top of the line, sadly,
Was sort of fading at that
exactly,
point.
yeah. But I was using it for individual competition. I started the routine with a coin toss when it wasn't really a thing at the time,
Right.
so that was good. And I had a ultralight one. We used to go off bridge flying as well in
Sure.
London,
Yeah.
and I lost mine in the water.
Oh.
But I'd made another one, had another one that was there was a super ultralight one, and used that for the indoor kite festival we had in the XL Centre in London.
Sure.
And that's when James and Simon Dan and there were 4 people who did the indoor quad line
Yep.
world record, 2
Yep.
hours 44 minutes and 44 seconds, and I had to go at the 2-line one. So I got 2 hours 13 flying the sizzle.
Oh, that's very cool.
Very easy to track, very easy to keep up.
Sure.
And that was beaten about a week later, so I didn't have that title for
Not very long, but
the kite,
you had it.
But the kite was beautiful, and I've got them still, and they're just super slow, really maneuverable, trickable as well, sort of.
That
yeah.
kite actually, you saying that kind of informs a few of your work later too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because very deliberate speed and stuff like the Fury.
Exactly.
Very trickable, but very, very stable,
And the deep sail,
deliberate, deep
yeah.
sailed team kite. Yeah.
The same spar set up in terms of nose angle
Yep.
and sort of architecture of the light.
Sure. That makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Okay, so your favorite design then?
that's a hard one because of all the design for events like touring bands, big stadium shows and so
Sure.
on. So we've used kites and kite-like structures. There's been a lot of
Like, you've done everything from like halftime shows in the Olympics to like the Hatchling.
and Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, yeah.
In New York, which is another one where actually Scott Skinner's here, but he came along and helped, and that was brilliant. Having kite people there as well, but. We had 12 hours to set up the show and pack it down and have the show and do all the rehearsals within
Right.
that time.
Jeez.
So we had umbrella frames for those crystal shapes, and so
Yes.
just pop up all the shapes.
Yep.
But I think what informed that was the black meteor pipe. So this was a 5 meter, so whatever that is in feet, 15 feet
15
long.
feet or so, yeah, a little
It
bit
weighed
bigger.
20
18.
It weighed 20 kilos in itself. So it's a mashed up black series of black cubes, if you like.
Yep.
Cube kites. And the idea was to have no light inside it. So it just looked heavier than, like a heavy rock that was flying, and it flew. And we flew it at Bristol first. And that was great because Andy King and Corey Jensen were commentating.
Yep.
And, they were very kind when we flew it and so on. But later in the bar, after a few drinks,
Corey was known for saying what he was thinking.
And he's got a big voice.
He
big
does.
personality, and he said, Carl, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, nice one, Corey, because that's a brilliant compliment, because that's what the kite was about. It's about doing the weird stuff.
Sure.
So that's kind of it looked impossible, but it flew, and it was one of those crazy things to make. And Chris Goff and Sasha Redding also worked on it as well. Sash did the computer design stuff. They built the prototypes and then went out and flew it in different sections. And then we built it in black, and it was just crazy. So that was for an art installation as well.
That's very
So yeah, I think from that has led a lot of design work that I've done outside the kite world as well.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's probably the craziest one. that, build-wise.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Good.
Well, hey,
Okay.
Carl, thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
time
Thanks,
and
Jesse.
for everything.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Keep watching the channel because while we were here at Kite Party, Carl brought me a couple of new toys that I will share with you guys soon.
Yeah, shiny new toys.
Shiny new toys. One of them, brand new, new build,
Oops.
20-year-old design. The other is old stock from
Yeah, the glittering days of
Yeah.
kite design. Yeah.
the glittering days indeed.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Carl, thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers, Jesse. Yeah.
See ya. I love Carl's answers to these questions because so much of them are not just about his work, but his collaborations with others. The resume he's put together, both in kites and beyond, in fabric and carbon, and using that kite influence in all sorts of other places, is really, really incredible. And it's so cool to have gotten to know him better in these more recent years and get to see the stuff that he's created. As always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. And a big thank you for Carl for taking time out of his kite vacation with me to film that quick interview. And we will see you out there, Skyrider.